The National Archives revealing then Vice President Joe Biden sent or received up to 82,000 pages worth of private emails through 3 different shadow email addresses, pseudonyms, while serving in the Obama administration. It's unclear what topics were covered in these emails, but Hunter Biden was copied on at least 10 of those emails sent between May 18th and June 15th, 2016, with one on May 26th reportedly notifying him of a scheduled phone call between Joe Biden and the president of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko. Tiana, the tangled web we weave in the Biden family.
Oh, and this is, so remember, 2016, Hunter Biden is still on that board of Burisma. He doesn't resign until Joe Biden announces his run for presidency in 2019. What is the president's son, who's supposed to be an apolitical figure, doing CC'd on an email between the vice president of the United States, who's the main Ukraine liaison, and the Ukrainian president, right? It's so funny how we went from, on the campaign trail, Joe Biden, I never discussed business with my son, ever, to, oh, you know, it was just 20 phone calls where I asked about the weather, and I dropped in on meetings, and, you know, 82,000 pages of emails. Oh, and I CC'd Hunter on a call with the Ukrainian president while he's in the board of a Ukrainian oil company.
Yeah. And I remember the whole time, oh, yeah, we don't discuss any business, Cheryl. I'm getting a deja vu from Hillary Clinton, right? Oh, we talked about yoga.
Yeah, well, well, actually, speaking of then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, when he was the vice president, so she's got her own server. She's operating outside of government. He's got multiple fake accounts that he's using, pseudonyms of whatever you want to say, to just have. I mean,
he's setting up 20 shell companies.
I mean, yeah, all those LLCs that we're still trying to get to the bottom of. I mean, this is going to be more fodder for James Comer and for Jim Jordan, who are now getting back to work to run their committees.
Yeah, but I think it's really incredible the way Biden answers all of this when he's asked about it. He goes, where's the money? He's taunting everybody.
The money was wired to your house.
Did you pay cash for the house you bought?
Yes.
Maybe that's the money.
The Hunter Biden China money, you know, everyone's saying, oh, no, that's Hunter Biden's money. No, Hunter Biden was living in Los Angeles when that money was wired to Joe Biden's Delaware house.
I really do. As a father, sometimes I look at the president and I think, why did you consistently empower your son and support him in these endeavors, which were likely illegal, especially the Burisma board when he was doing nothing. I mean, it was just
maybe he's just another corrupt politician.
Enriching your child who has admitted that he had a serious drug and alcohol
and you're enabling it. You know,
and he was
enabling with a child like that is you cut them off, and it's painful, right? I empathize with Biden on that level, but you cut them off because what is that money going to? Russian hookers and drugs.
No, come on, this is all corruption in plain sight. Look at this new email, which was revealing Hunter Biden was billed hundreds of dollars for this overseas call and overseas calls on a phone being used by Joe Biden. According to the Daily Mail, the AT&T email sent to Hunter's Rosemont Seneca business account in 2018 says more than $300 had been racked up for overseas calls on a number ending in 3535. Other texts on Hunter's laptop show that the phone number was being used by his father, Joe Biden. The 2018 calls coming just days before Joe Biden received this, a $200,000 check from his brother, Jim Biden. And I should point out that at this time, Jim Biden was still being paid by the Chinese. I spoke with House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer about this check last week. Here's what he had to say. Watch.
The White House is claiming it was a loan. I don't believe it was, Maria, but regardless of whether it was or not, we traced how Jim Biden paid the money back to Joe Biden. Either he paid him back $200,000 or paid him $200,000. It doesn't matter. Joe Biden is $200,000 better off because of an influence peddling scheme that his brother led with a company called AmeriCorps Health. And we believe we found a lot more, Maria, that we're going to be bringing to the American people very soon.
Found a lot more in Jim's bank records?
Yes.
Cheryl, they get the bank records.
Yeah, well, you know, by the way, that interview that you did on Sunday with Speaker Johnson, our new speaker, he mentioned about the possible subpoena of Hunter Biden, which made a lot of news because what's going to be interesting here is I mean, the worst thing that Hunter Biden ever did was drop off that laptop. That's the worst. but now, but under subpoena, if they have enough evidence, and Johnson, I remember he told you, he said, look, we're going to go through, we're going to do the facts, we're lining up, getting our ducks in a row. Is there a bigger duck in Joe Biden? We shall see. But the that they're doing their work, and that's what Comer is saying right there. Again.
They're doing a good job.
Doing their work.
The pressure has to be kept on, because when you think about where we were before this whole speaker conflagration blew up, the momentum was there, right? Yeah. You had a hearing where everyone was freaking out because Jonathan Turley said, "Oh, we don't have the impeachment goods yet." Who cares? You have the evidence. Follow the evidence. Follow the bank statements. Follow the emails. Follow the phone calls. And it's an inquiry for a reason, right? It's not an impeachment trial.
We would not know anything without James Comer and the Oversight Committee.
We need to keep up the investigation.
So there's
there's
a $200,000 check written from the brother of Joe Biden to Joe Biden. The president says, yes, but it was a loan. Okay, fine. If it was a loan, then let's see the check that went the other way, because then it's clear that he's just paying back the money that you gave him. And if you can't find that original check or transfer, then it's not a loan, right? So
where's the money?
And then there's also a tax problem, right? A reimbursement is not taxable, but any other kind of transfer of that amount usually is, right? You can't just send a gift for $200,000 and not pay a tax on it. Yeah. There are limits to these
Which,
things.
by the way, is why the Republicans were adamant about creating an impeachment inquiry, because that opens the door to being able to pull on these strings and find out where they go.
But isn't it incredible that Joe Biden wants to hire 87,000 IRS agents so that he can come after everybody else? Meanwhile, Hunter Biden's sitting there not paying taxes.
Well, but it makes perfect sense.
87,000 IRS agents at home.
But it makes sense from Joe's point of view. He's saying, they're coming after me. I'm going after them.
Unbelievable. They're not going after Joe. That's
Audit
the problem.
the rich, as in Hunter Biden.
They're going to go after small businesses because they know that that's easy prey.
Or maybe people who don't agree with their narrative.
Absolutely.
Republicans.
Absolutely.
We've got much more ahead this morning.